Hello and welcome to Beer Club. I'm Luke, this is Beer Jerk, and today we are drinking a beer from DNA. It is tall and tasty. The sun is shining here in Auckland. Finally the rain has stopped. I hope it's sunny wherever you are, because this is the perfect beer to be drinking in the sunshine. Perhaps not with quite so much head as this. DNA is a relatively new brewery. They've been going since late 2021, but they were mainly contract brewing at the time, and it took a while to get them set up, and they've really scaled up recently. The name DNA comes from the founders, so it's Dave and Ant. Dave Nichols is a very highly regarded brewer that most famously brewed at Moa since the early days, and did a lot of really cool stuff there, not least his Wild Ferment and Barrel Aged series. That was some really incredible beers. And prior to that, he was at Heineken, and I think I read he was at TUI previously. But obviously, there were lots and lots of changes at Moa, and Dave left as that was all happening, or just before, and spotted a beautiful brewery on the market. So you may remember Tinker Tailor Brewing. So we had some of their beers in our boxes. They were lovely people, did some great beers. But they wrapped up right in early 2020. So just as the world was being hit with COVID lockdowns, those guys shut up shop, and they had a beautiful, big, sparkling brewery. I think it was a 5,000 litre brew house, which is on the larger side of things for independent breweries here in New Zealand. So Dave managed to buy this brewery, presumably got a great deal on it, and had it sort of mothballed until he got a call from his old friend Ant Moore. So Ant Moore is a winemaker. You may know Ant Moore Wines, and he was developing a project in Blenheim, which was a hospitality complex. So they have a tap room there called the Fancy Cow that is the brewery tap room, as well as a showcase for all of the wines. So that is, of course, the best place to go and drink DNA beers. So DNA have been steadily growing, and it's cool to see their beers in cans these days. And it's cool to see this beer in tall cans. Here in New Zealand, we are a long way from anywhere. So a lot of the cool innovation and trends that you see in packaging internationally, we don't see here, just simply due to our small footprint and small market. So, for example, those rip top cans that a lot of people really enjoy. There's not really enough of a market for local manufacturers, certainly, to make them, and for them to be imported, you need to be buying such massive volumes. And no independent brewers in New Zealand are making those sort of volumes. And it's the same thing with these tall cans. I know a lot of breweries have been trying to get hold of big cans that are bigger than 440s for quite a while. And it's just recently, in the last few months, that they have become available. So a handful of brewers have leapt on it immediately. 8 Wide have put out a couple of really cool beers in the big format. So have Urbanaut. And it's the perfect format for this beer, tall and tasty, which is a Pacific Pale Ale, one of the newer beer styles, and it's an Australian beer style. So Pacific Pale was first created in, I think, 2010 by Stone and Wood over in Australia in Byron Bay, and it's a pale ale, and the Pacific Pale Ales were championing especially Australian hops, modern aromatic Australian hops like Ella and especially Galaxy, which is a really beautiful hop. And they were easy drinking, and the style is about low bitterness, lower alcohol. So sort of similar to a traditional English pale ale, but lighter in the malts, really easy drinking, low-ish IBUs, so around sort of, I think this is 24 IBUs, so like around in the 20s. So you've got a touch of bitterness to go with the hop aroma. But yeah, it's all about an easy drinking, smashable beer to be enjoyed in lovely warm conditions. So Australia is a pretty warm country generally. It's a big place, there definitely are cold parts to it. And I thought it'd be a perfect fit for summertime drinking here in New Zealand. I was not expecting us to have these horrific storms that we've had this week that have been trashing the country. So as I say, I'm very happy the sun has come out now. So hopefully you get to enjoy this beer in the sunshine, which is the perfect environment for it. And it's the hops in this beer. So this does have Galaxy, which is that really great Australian hop. It's got a lovely citrus character to it, and it's got, I think it was a Riwaka, which is a really beautiful New Zealand hop. Yeah, it's so that's where the lime character is coming from, and Erebus, which is a US hop, which I don't really have much experience of, to be honest. Obviously, it's adding to the sort of the layers of hoppiness in here and some of the passion fruit, things like that. But I haven't, I've never tried a beer with just Erebus. So that'd be a cool one to try in one of the I'm trying to remember the name of the DNA series where they just champion single hops. So yeah, if Dave's watching this, if you want to brew a beer with just Erebus, so us drinkers and brewers can get a good idea of what exactly that hop brings to a beer, that will be really fun as well. The beer's tall and tasty. It's part of the limited series. I can imagine it might become core range because this is kind of the perfect taproom beer and the perfect everyday beer. It's what you want to be drinking when you're having a barbecue and enjoying summer sunshine. It is a solid beer. The other big news from DNA is they recently bought the brand Hop Federation. So they haven't bought their actual brew kit, but they bought the brand and the beers and the recipes, and they've taken on Hop Federation's founder and head brewer, Simon. So I'm looking forward to seeing more Hop Federation beers coming out from the great brewery in Blenheim. As I mentioned before, they've got quite a big capacity, so I think we're seeing a lot of changes in beer at the moment. I was looking at some statistics around the breweries that have entered the GABS Hop 100 competition, and almost no New Zealand breweries have entered. Brewers are releasing fewer beers. It's harder to get beers around the country. People are drinking less, a bit less inquisitive. Supermarkets are shrinking their ranges. So I think breweries are definitely needing to pivot and change tack and be creative in order to be successful. And it seems like DNA are not following the normal ways of doing things and the normal trends. So I can see them being a brewery that are going to be sticking around. So yeah, it just really makes sense with any kind of plant. There's almost no breweries that are at capacity here in New Zealand. So it perfectly makes sense for breweries and brands to join forces and be brewed on the same equipment, because it's kind of it's quite silly to have all this very, very expensive stainless steel just sitting around unused. So yeah, exciting to see what is going to be happening there, and look forward to bringing you some of the Hop Federation beers that hopefully will be coming out in the next few months when they start rolling off the canning line. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tall and tasty beer. Excellent work to the team at DNA. I will see you next week. Cheers.